Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Ellen. So we are going to be painting some wonderful autumn fall cards today. Super easy, no trace needed, just using a couple of brushes, just a couple of ways you hold the brushes and twist them to create this beautiful florals. They're totally different ones. So sunflower, obviously, these are more chrysanthemums. And yeah, I have a little scraping technique that I love, mushing. I call it mushing, but and it has this great effect when you paint with it. So if you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section. Without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so for supplies, I'm using piece of Arch 100% cotton cold pressed paper. I taped it down with just Scotch Magic tape. It's the tape I like to use. For me, that works great. You can use whatever tape you want. It's on a piece of cardboard if you want to move it around. Just it needs something sturdy and stable. I'm playing with a bunch of different brushes. We're going to use a flat wash brush. This is a 3/4 inch, not an inch. And I love my liner brush right here. And, you know, maybe I'll use my Princeton 12 Aqua Elite. I've been using that a lot lately, playing around. Or I could just use my Neptune 12, whatever. I'll tell you as I go. So, if you're going to make a really kind of interesting and cool card, when you think about cards, the composition, you can just do it on the left, on the right, all the way around the card. It's up to you, or fill the whole thing in. And I thought we'd just do some simple flowers. You don't have to draw them out. You could just paint them in. And I love the flat wash brush to make wonderful sunflowers. So I'm going to grab cadmium yellow deep and a little bit of cadmium red light. Get this nice color here for yellow. Consistency. I'm adding more water. It's very loose, almost like tea and coffee. Now I might want to start it kind of over here. So I can show you this sideways view. You just kind of go like this, pushing down and kind of twist it. Do you see that? I showed this in one of my techniques. And you can push down even more, then kind of twist it. And look at that, you already have the petals. Sunflower on the edge. This is how you make interesting composition. Maybe you put one here and on the corner. So you're gonna have to twist your hands doing something like this. Woohoo! And I'm just twisting it. Twist, twist. And look at that. We already have some cool sunflowers. So composition, like I said, make it interesting, right? You just have it cascading kind of here and there for a card. Many different ways you can do it. I'm just going to put that in there. Maybe grab, oops. I have this color, brilliant orange. It's very intense, and I'll mix it in with my yellows. You can kind of bleed some of that if you want some bright, bright flowers happening. Look at that. Clean up my brush. Now it could be all sunflowers, which would be kind of nice. I'll just change up the color a little bit more and add some burnt sienna. Go back and add my yellow. So I'm thinking I'm going to put another one here. I don't know why. It just kind of feels like it to me. It's kind of, you can't see the center. You'll be like just moving it out here. And maybe use some of that color, some of the brown type tones in here. This one. If I fill it in here, I couldn't write words. I can put a small one here, covering over this one. So many ways to play with this, etc., etc. Let's just keep it simple. Now we'll start to do some greens. I'm gonna just mix some yellow with some Prussian blue, whatever blue you feel you like. If you do ultramarine blue deep, it's just a muted color. It's not gonna be pretty. Cadmium yellow deep and Prussian blue. And I always use a little burnt umber or a brown. It just takes that blue hinge out of there. It just gives it a little neutral kind of green color. So you can put that stem in there. And then I'm still using this flat wash brush. You want to wiggle some leaves. So I'm doing this kind of wiggle movement. I need some more water on my brush to make it move. Like that. And just pull it out. Some leaves here. Some kind of happening. I love playing with this chisel end. It's just this end of the brush. And you're just kind of moving that. And I'll put one wiggle here, going up here. So you said we still have the center kind of open. You want to make a little lighter green, add some more yellow, some more interesting color. Make some little lines happening here. You can put another green leaf in there. Now we've kind of almost enclosed this whole space except this. Again, leaving it open. And I'm still using just a flat wash brush. You can start to add maybe a branch or something interesting. So I'll use burnt umber and Paynes gray. Maybe kind of put a branch in here. And you're just tapping the chisel in. You can put maybe some lovely berries, you know. I'll put another branch here. I'm still using this brush. And actually, I think I might switch to my liner brush. This is the Princeton No. 4 liner. So we can do some nice little berries, bittersweet berries. Be kind of pretty for fall. Just kind of wiggle out. I always do this jerky kind of movement. It looks a little more natural branching. I'm not really loving that. Okay. So if I'm not loving this, it's okay. Now I'm going to go back and do another layer of my yellow on the sunflower. And then I'm going to do a little technique that I love. I call mushing, but it's just kind of erasing the flower a little bit and just gives it a kind of a unique look. So I'm going to go back in here. I'm going to do my same twisty movement. Get another layer of the sunflower happening, or a thicker of the yellow paint. Just giving it more interest. And go like this. And we can play with putting the bittersweet colors in too. So it's a red. I use cadmium red light because it's perfect for that. I'll grab any kind of brush. A round brush is really easy to just do a berry. This is a 10 round. And just tapping down, straight down, see? Just a straight push down a little bit. Push and mush. Now, obviously, if you keep doing this to these brushes, you'll lose the tip of them. But they're very inexpensive. You can buy some new ones. And you don't want to just do like soldier berries. You want to cluster them. I kind of push it on the side too a little bit. They don't have to be perfectly round. Don't get caught up in that. Putting some berries over here. Bring them down. Already looking sweet. And then of course the yellow. So grab yellow from the tube. I'll kind of push down. And they meet with each other. They'll be kind of pretty. Bittersweet. I used to have them in my yard. And then it just stopped growing. It was very sad. I was very sad about that. So they're very, very wet. I want them to seep in a little bit. I don't want to mush anything until it's seeping in. Because then it's not going to have the beautiful effect that I'm looking for. I'm just going to remove some of this paint here. So I'm giving it a hot minute. I'm going to take my flat wash brush and I'm going to just clean it off and just grab some clear water on it. And this is where it could be good or bad. And maybe I should have did the berries after. And I'm just going to kind of go in here and twist and push down on the paper and remove. So it's kind of like, it's called scraping. Scraping. See, now I'm getting the berries. I want them to seep in a little bit because I don't want to ruin the berries too much. I'm just kind of mushing. Notice I'm not really tapping the green yet. And kind of wiggling around my brush, grabbing the water. Now I'm going to grab some green. Mushing that a little bit. Be careful, clean up your brush and go back to a paper towel. That red and green will make brown. And see, now this is still very wet. The bittersweet berries, so I'm going to kind of lift and mush a little bit. So I'm going back and tapping on my paper towel. Well, what a cool effect, huh? See, I'm going to be careful. You're going to grab the red, move it back, tap, move it back, so you don't make a mess. And you still leave some white. You don't have to mush everything you see. But what a cool card, huh? Doesn't that look beautiful? Look how much time that took. Like nothing. Minimal effort, people, and beautiful outcome. I'm excited. I hope you are. I can kind of mush out that green a little bit. I love this one because it was darker. You know, I can go back in and make a deeper, darker green. mixing my colors here. And let that sit in for a minute. I liked how it just left a little bit of the edge on that one. Exactly. And then a little bit more green here. And I'll let that sit in for a second and I'll start to do mush for that. Meanwhile, back at the farm, let's mix. I don't want to grab straight Paynes gray for the center. Ultramarine blue deep and burnt sienna. A little bit more blue. So we have a nice burnt. Or you could use burnt umber and Paynes gray. Don't want a serious black there. It just kind of looks fake. And then we can go here using our brush. Leave a little white on the edge and then fill it in. And if you want to make it darker, you can look on the side here. Leaving a little white. Those are our sunflowers. I wouldn't want to mush those because that would be very, very, very messy. So now that's sipped in a little bit. I'm going to kind of remove, do that mushing. I could even grab a color, see if I grab some yellow and go in here and mush a little bit. And there, look at that. You can kind of play with mushing a little bit of the black by just kind of removing it so it looks like it's kind of mushed a little bit. But not too much, just a tad. See how I just tapped that a little bit? Just a little bit, just a little bit. So it has that look like everything else, so it doesn't look like it doesn't make sense. And that's it. I really love it. And I didn't put it black here. You could put a teeny bit on the edge. Just tap a little bit color here. Ooh. That is the edge of the sunflower. Gorgeous. Minimal time. Love the effect. Let it dry and remove the tape. Okay, once it's dry, we can take the tape off and reveal this beautiful card. It doesn't want to come off. Get that nice border there. And then you could just tape it down to a piece of black cardstock or any color cardstock. Look at that. And you could write the words thankful in there or just leave it like this. Or thinking of you. What a beautiful card, right? So simple to do and so gorgeous. And let's try and do another one. We could do a vertical one again, a horizontal. Let's try vertical. It's always trying to find fun ways to do. Again, take the tape. Why do I choose Scotch Magic tape? I find this is the best tape for me. I just do. So we're going to tape it down. We're going to try another one. All right, so I'm going to tape it down. I'm going to try and do something different. I'm grabbing my Princeton 12 Neptune brush, ultramarine blue deep color here, activating it, and a red, which is a pyro red, make a nice burgundy kind of color, a little bit more deep purple. We're changing up the colors now, and we're going to do some like reds and purples, kind of like dahlias. So we'll take this loose 12. It holds a lot of paint. I'm adding more water, as you see. You can have more red color. Pyro red, it's like a more pinky red. So when you add it with the ultramarine blue deep, it doesn't get all muddy. And again, we can start to play with maybe a lot on this side. I don't know, I'm gravitating towards the right. And we're just taking the brush and doing these short strokes, pulling them in really quickly, leaving the white space, and maybe do some small ones. Look at that. Little short strokes, kind of in a circular motion. Get some couple of little doodad long ones kind of bending this way and that way. See that? And then kind of do the same thing here. I'll leave that white space. We can add a little bit more red to this. I like this pyro red. And again, so now it's more of a burgundy. We're just doing like a spiky kind of flower. See, I'm just taking the tip and the brush. I'm just dancing on the paper. Do some little short strokes. Again, it's kind of being cut off. cool look. So we've got some deeper colors happening here, more jewel tones. And so because the ultramarine blue and the pyro red mixed together, they have a little granulation thing happening, which is really nice. And I'll try a little more of a orangey blush kind of scenario. I'll grab the pyro, a little yellow. Let's see what we got. Keep adding yellow, kind of a nice blushy orangey coral color. And that would be kind of pretty. I'll put this over here. You might have to move your paper and turn it a little bit. See that? I'm holding it up so you can see, make those movements. Just tapping the brush, wiggling it back and forth. Curvature, tapping the center. Very interesting. Almost look like a little starburst, right? And then I'll kind of throw something up here. It could be the burgundy red or the orange, but I think I'll use the orange. You want to kind of pull your eye upwards. So I'm just kind of wiggling the brush back and forth and putting one just here. Wiggling, tapping, voila. Simple strokes. Simple strokes for simple folks. And then we're going to do some greens, of course. I'll have to move some paint here. My palette isn't huge. And I always do the same type of greens. I know. Call me, old-fashioned with my green here. It's a Prussian blue and cadmium yellow deep and a little bit of burnt umber. I'm going to add more yellow this time. More funky green. And we'll just kind of wiggle out here. And I'll get this a little bit looser. More water. I'll just push down. Get a little bit more color. Thicker pigment. Pull it out a little bit. Woohoo! Play with this leaf. You guys are really good at doing leaves. So just kind of put a little leaf in here. Pull a little leaf coming down this way. I'm going to add some more light. I want a light green, so I'm adding some more yellow. Just like that. And then put the green here. So not much effort with the green. Just really kind of simple. And if you want to put one here, put one here. So we have a space kind of happening here. And put some greens in here. I'm going to grab some yellow. So they kind of clustered now more. And how long did that take? Minimal time. Already looks really beautiful. I'm going to remove the screen, and then we're going to go back into another layer, a little deeper, a little thicker with that blue and the pie roll. Thicker paint, less water. Okay. Same premise though with the tip. Kind of the back and forth. We have some more. It's not just this one note. One thing, just get a little bit deeper value here. And then add more red like I did before. Again, the value is going to get a little bit deeper on that. I can kind of mush that in here or just grab some more yellow. That looks a little muddy. Go back and just try it again with a little bit more red, more yellow. There we go. And get that a little bit deeper. Even just grab some of these colors and mix them. A little interest. And of course, we have to let this seep in if we're going to do our little mushing technique. Scraping is actually what it's really called. I call it mushing because I like to mush it. A little bit of red in here. Kind of sweet, right? Gotta let it sit in for a couple of seconds. And then we grab our flat wash brush again. Right? Very clean water. And we'll start with this flower here. Kind of twist. It's good to have paper towel close by. Lift up my paper towel. You can tap back if it gets too dirty. You want to kind of push that paint out. The green. So we're kind of erasing it, but you still see the edge of it. And of course, green and red make brown. So just be careful when you're pushing the two of the colors next to each other. Because even though it's orange, it's going to be brown to the green. I already like this effect. And we'll try the purple. Clean up your brush. See, I'm constantly dipping my brush back in the water. And tapping back on that paper towel. so I'm not making a muddy mess. And I'm kind of sticking to around the area that the flower's in. And going here, and just kind of mushing this. And look how sweet. It just looks like the sunlight's coming in, doesn't it? I love this effect. You might not like it, but I do. I'm gonna have some little yellow in here. Just a punch of yellow. Just grabbed it, and then look at this. I'm standing up because I like to see how it's looking as I stand up. I'm just gonna add a little tap of darker green and a little brown. Tip tap. Ooh, brown. Because you know, it is supposed to be fall. Okay, I'm cleaning up my brush. You can just take a light color green wash and kind of go in here too. And finish her off. Why did the brown? I just felt like it was just a goofy kind of green. I just love this effect. And you can take the corner of your brush, grab some thick yellow paint, and just tap in the center of that. And of course, we'll wait till this dries, right? What I'm not loving is that it's kind of looking like a ball. So I might kind of lift a little of the paint. So you're taking a damp brush and you're tapping back on a paper towel, just lifting it, like mopping it up. Grab some of that paint, maybe some blue, and just kind of go out there. Less ball kind of scenario here. And that's that. And we'll let that dry and come back. Once it's dry, if you feel like, oh, it's erased too much, you know, you can go in. I'm going to make this blushy color again. Okay. And add some more color back in. No one says you have to erase it completely. I'm using a different brush, but you get the hint. Kind of go back in here and add some of those little sprays. If you felt like, oh, well, I erased everything to high heaven and now I don't see anything. And I'll just go and add just a few more sprays. And if you want to take your liner brush and add some, like again, some lovely little branches. Same thing I did in the first one, except that this time you're going to just lightly put it out there. A little branch here. I don't want that to stick out too much. Just a little light color. It's up to you. You don't have to do the branch. You can leave it as is. Just adding a little something. And maybe a couple little teeny berries on there or something. These ones would be much smaller. Grab some yellow. A little orange. Again, just to give a little bit more interest. I always like to have delicate things and then larger things. It's kind of sweet. And then we remove the tape and see what happens. So I moved the tape. Look how pretty that is. I'll take this away from here. And we have another card right here. Look at how beautiful these are. And this one kind of curled because it's wet. I have to take this one down. But look, they're so different, but yet so pretty. And they were so simple to paint. Really kind of cool cards. You could do like a million versions of this. And this one too. You don't have to paint all the edges like I did. Look how fantastic. Now I didn't tape them down, but obviously you can tape them down. How would you tape them down? There's a couple ways. You can use double stick tape. Another thing and people ever talk about is using rubber cement. Okay, when you do rubber cement, you put it on this side, then put it on the side you're going to put it down, and here, and it really adheres to it. It stays really well. So if you have rubber cement, you can pick that up at like any place, like Michael's or any craft store. That works phenomenal. Just have to make sure you put it just where it's supposed to go on the other side. So you have to put it on both sides. This side, this paper, and this paper, and then they'll stick perfectly. So I hope you enjoy this tutorial. If you love my content, consider becoming a Patreon member where you could support my channel, which I appreciate because YouTube is free, and Patreon is where people support my YouTube free content if they like my content, and that's help supporting creators here on YouTube. And you click that link in the description box below to join my Patreon, where you have exclusive tutorials. You get first dibs on watercolor workshops and retreats. Now, I just posted a watercolor workshop, and it sold out to the patrons, and it didn't even go anywhere in public. So, and I'm posting another one in another month. So, you know, these don't go public, and they stay on Patreon. So if you want to come to a workshop, maybe consider becoming a Patreon member. Okay, so I hope you have a fantastic weekend. Take care, and I'll speak to you soon.